Somebody can move this PPT. Raje prasidham navanita chauram gopangananam chadukula chauram. Raje prasidham gopangananam अनेक जन्मार्जित पाप चौरम अनेक जन्मार्जित पाप चौरम चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि श्रीराधिकाया हृदयस्य चौरं नवाम्बुदश्यामल कान्ति चौरम् श्रीराधिकाया हृदयस्य चौरं नवाम्बुदश्यामल कान्ति चौरम् पदाश्रितानां च समस्तचौरम् चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि पदाश्रितानां च समस्तचौरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि अकिञ्चने कृत्य पदाश्रितं यः करोति वेक्षुं पतिगेहहीनम् अकिञ्चनीकृत्य पदाश्रितं यः करोति भिक्षुं पतिगेहहीनम् केनाप्यहो भीषणचौरयेद्र केनापि भीषणचौरयेद्र दृष्टश्रुतो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि दृष्टश्रुतो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि यदीयनामपि हरत्यशेषं गिरिप्रसारानपि पापराशीम् यदीयनामपि हरत्यशेषं गिरिप्रसारान् अपि पापराशीम् आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चौरयेद्र दृष्टश्रुतो वा न मया कदापि आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चौरयेद्र दृष्टश्रुतो वा न मया कदापि धनं च मानं च सत्तेन्द्रियाणि प्राणांश हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव धनं च मानं च तथेन्द्रियाणि प्राणांश हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽन्यचौरा पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽन्यचौरा पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽन्यचौरा पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽन्यचौरा त्वं भक्तिदाम्नासि मया निरुद्धः त्वं भक्तिदाम्नासि मया निरुद्धः छिनत्सि घोरं यमपाशबन्धं भिनत्सि भीमं भवपाशबन्धं छिनत्सि घोरं यमपाशबन्धं भिनत्सि भीमं भवपाशबन्धम् छिनत्सि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धम् छिनत्सि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धम् मन्मानसे तामस राशि घोरे कारागृहे दुःख मये निबद्धः मन्मानसे तामसरसघोरे
कारागृह दुःखे दुःख मया निबद्धः।
लभस्व हे चौरा हरे चिराय
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 स्वचौर्य दोषोचितमेव दण्डम्
स्वचौर्य दोषोचितमेव दण्डम्
कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मदीये कारागृहे वस कारागृहे वस सदा हृदय मदीये मद्भक्ति पाश दृढ़बंधन निश्चल सन डिफरेंट ट्यून है
सदा हृदय मदीये मद्भक्त पाश दृढ़ बंधन निश्चल सन।
कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्ति पाश दृढ़बंधन निश्चल सन त्वां कृष्ण हे प्रलयकोटिशतान्तरेऽपि सर्वस्वचौरहृदयान् न हि मोचयामि सर्वस्वचौरहृदयान् न हि मोचयामि। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्णा।
Somebody can take the translation. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare भगवान हरि नाम संकीर्तन की Translation. Where is the mic?
I offer pranam to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have occurred over many lifetimes. I offer pranam to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Oh, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such a astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible nose of Yamraj. You sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance, and there for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of aeons.
कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्तिपाशदृढबन्धन निश्चलः सन् त्वां कृष्ण हे प्रलयकोटिशतान्तरेऽपि सर्वस्व चौरहृदयान् नहि मोचयामि. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. This is another beautiful article on complaints of love. See, this is Yashoda sitting under the tree, and all her associates are coming and complaining about Krishna. Krishna standing at the side. So there is a beautiful verse in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and commented by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as well as Jiva Goswami. Very beautifully, very nice dialogue. We will read that now. Please read that.
Krishna's pastimes are most enchanting, but when his devotees narrate them, they taste even more nectarian, being mixed with their love.
I read it.
Isn't it ironic to see a rich man steal like a petty thief? Isn't it even more astonishing to see him steal food as if he were a hungry, poverty-stricken man? What if God acts like this? Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of all the material and spiritual worlds, and is the husband of the goddess of fortune. He was the son of the king of Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj, and was lovingly raised by Queen Yashoda. Yet he was accustomed to stealing in the houses of Vraj Gopis, the ladies of Vrindavan. And what does he steal? Not gold or wealth, but some milk and butter.
Yeah. So, you will find in this Vrindavan pastimes of Krishna, many contradictions are explained by the Srimad Bhagavatam about how The absolute truth is called absolute truth. Param Satyam, there is one verse which talks about. Yeah, I'll show you. See? Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye Satyasya satyam mrita satyanetram Satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha. Yeah.
The demigods prayed, O Lord, you never deviate from your vow, which is always perfect, because whatever you decide is perfectly correct and cannot be stopped by anyone. Being present in the three phases of cosmic manifestation, creation, maintenance, and annihilation,
Trisatyanetram. Yeah.
you are the supreme truth. Indeed, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve your favor, which therefore cannot be achieved by hypocrites. You are the active principle, the real truth, in all the ingredients of creation, and therefore you are known as Antaryami, the inner force. You are equal to everyone, and your instructions apply for everyone, for all time. You are the beginning of all truth. Therefore, offering our obeisances, we surrender unto you. Kindly give us protection.
So, see Satyavratam, Satyaparam, Trisatyam, and Satyasya yonim, the cause of all emanations, all the relative things. Nihidam cha satye, and Satyasya satyam, Rita satyanetram, Satya atmakam, everything. So, it's a very beautiful purport. Sometime when you get time, you can read the Chakravarti Thakur has explained it, each of them very nicely, one Satyam in this word. And now I will leave it to you. But why I quoted this now? What is the connection? See, Lord is called absolute truth, but he speaks lies in Vrindavan. And Lord is said to be a person who creates fear in the heart of even fear itself. Like Bhirapi yad bibheti, Kunti Maharani is telling. But he himself is fearful of Yashoda and running away, seeing her stick. Similarly, the Lord is called the husband of goddess of fortune. But here it is said he is stealing. Correct, no? Actually, if he possesses everything, there is no reason for him to steal, isn't it? But why is he stealing butter? So, you will see there are 8 contradictions mentioned in the Damodar Leela. Lord, if he runs, nobody can catch him. All demigods are left behind. But Yashoda is able to catch him. And the absolute truth is never subjected to hunger. But he is called Aptakam. But he becomes Stanyakam. Very hungry for the milk from the mother. Similarly, the absolute truth is called Atma Ram. Means completely satisfied. Still he begs for buttermilk, butter, and all items from the Vijavasis. So he exhibits hunger in Vrindavan. So how these contradictions are resolved? Only on the platform of love. Therefore he is saying that he doesn't steal gold or silver, he steals butter in the homes of Vijavasis. Yeah. Read further.
Krishna's naughty pranks know no bounds. Although the gopis relished them, they rebuked him externally. They went to Mother Yashoda and lodged complaints against Krishna. At times, Yashoda defended her darling Krishna. The following is just a simple verse from the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 8th chapter, 29th verse. That the gopis spoke to Yashoda, describing the stealing activities of naughty Krishna.
Yeah. Vatsan munchan pajit asamaye krosha sanjata hasaha. Steyam swadyatyatha dadipayah kalpitaihi steya yogaihi. Markan bhokshyan vivajati sachen nati bandam bhinnati. Dravyalabhe sagriha kupito yatyapupakroshya lokan. Tokan. Dravyalabhe sagriha kupito yatyupakroshya tokan. Difficult Sanskrit. So, each of these words from this verse is elaborated now. Read the first one, releases.
Releases calves at odd times. Vassan munchan kavachit asamaya.
Asamaya means at an improper time. Vatsan munchan. Muncha means to release. Now, our Putana is shouting now, Sa muncha muncha alamiti. Muncha means to release. So, Vatsan means the calves. So, they were complaining different complaints. The beauty of Bhagavatam is, generally in this world, when some complaints come to manager or feedback comes, nobody likes to see the feedback mail. Oh, there is always some complaints. People don't like if there is a complaint about prasad, complaint about some problems. Whereas when there is a complaint about Krishna, the complaint is also absolute. That is also nectarian. Hearing the complaint itself is enlivening, soothing to the heart, and it is bliss producing. Therefore, you will find, Prabhupada explains, anything related to Krishna becomes nectarian. Like Prabhupada writes in the second page of the book PQPA, that Krishna is a rascal, Prabhupada writes. If any of you have noticed that. Prabhupada says, why? Because he teaches the gopis who are carrying the buttermilk, he hits the buttermilk pot. Therefore he is called a rascal. Prabhupada says a naughty. Because gopi is carrying a pot of buttermilk. He is going behind, you want to, he says either you bring it down or I will hit with a stone. So, in this way, Prabhupada is saying that he is a... So, Prabhupada says even Krishna's rascaldom is beautiful. He says, when he plays pranks like this in Vrindavan. Like, his stealing is glorified in Vrindavan as a Makan chor. If any other thief would steal, he would be beaten by the police with a belt or something. Isn't it? Similarly, when Krishna cheats the king, Bali Maharaj, the cheating is glorified as a wonderful pastime. We say, Chalayase Vikramane, that Dashavatara Stotram. So, even his cheating is beautiful because by cheating the king, he became king's servant. That is his cheating. Similarly, by cheating Yashoda and stealing butter, he became bound by Yashoda. Isn't it? See, he is giving Atma Bodh to Arjuna, who appears to be ignorant in the beginning, but he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. You will see that. So, therefore, these pastimes of Krishna externally appear like the activities of this world. But there is a great sweetness associated with each of these pastimes. So, now they are complaining. This is a long verse which gives about complaints. So, one line is explained here. Releases the calves at odd times. Vatsan, Munchan, Kvajit Asamaye. The gopis said in agitation. Krishna comes to our houses and releases the calves. Yashoda said, what is Krishna's fault in this? He cares for the calves. The gopi said, but he does it when it is not milking time. Kvajit Asamaye. The calves naturally drink all the milk. And when we go for milking the cows, we don't get any milk. And Yashoda is telling, Krishna is just a child. He has done this out of ignorance. There are many people in the house. Can they not prevent it? Many people means her husband and other elders also, retired people. Can't they prevent it? You may be in the kitchen busy, but can't they prevent it? The gopis are saying, no, this boy comes when they are all busy in their various household engagements. And then he releases our calves. And Yashoda is asking, then why don't you frighten him? Because if you frighten him, he will run away. Now, they mellows down their, Krishna mellows down their anger with a smile. See, therefore put this picture. I got nice pictures from the net. Krosha Sanjata Hasaha. The gopis are saying, when we become angry, Krosha Sanjata, when anger is born in our heart, at him and shout, beat him, tie him up. He merely smiles. Hasaha. Smitten by his intoxicating smile, we just helplessly watch him do his dirty work. And Yashoda is asking, but why does he release the calves at all? She is asking. What is the connection between his releasing the calf and stealing butter? What is the connection? So they are saying, he eats milk products by stealing. Stheyam swad atyatha dadipayaha. See, these are very rare, very old pictures, traditional. See, Krishna is behind. He's behind Yashoda. Yashoda is like a queen sitting and hearing. He is standing and listening to them. Laughing, the gopis imitate Krishna's answer. They are imitating Krishna and saying, I want to drink milk. They described, Krishna releases the calves to make people run here and there. And then he enters our houses, steals whatever he likes and eats. And our tasty milk and curd. Yet we are unable to do anything. While he drinks the milk and curd, even as he relishes the spoils of his thievery right in front of our eyes. He just sits there and eating, not even posturing to running away. While we stand there watching his antics, bewildered by his smile. So they are saying that it's not that he runs away out of fear, he steals, and then after tying up the calves, when we come back, he is eating in front of us, and when we become angry, his response to our anger is just a smile. Yashoda said, oh, you are so unkind, gopis. Why didn't you just give him some milk before he takes it by himself? The boy must be hungry. Why don't you just let him eat till his belly is full? Actually, Yashoda is thinking, I don't want my son to learn the stealing habit. It's very bad, no? So instead of him stealing, what is lacking in Vrindavan? Everything is in abundance. Milk and curd and butter and everything. So in case you see him coming to your house, you just hand over some butter or milk, whatever he wants, until his belly is full. After belly is full, why is he going to steal? That is Yashoda's logic. What are they saying? With smiling brows, the gopis said, his belly is always full, since he is always being fed by you. It is not a question of hunger. He has a taste for stealing, they are saying. He wants stolen milk only, not the milk which we give him. If we give him milk, he will not drink it. They are saying. Yashoda is saying, fine. But what is the loss if he takes little milk from your storehouse? Gopis are saying, he takes the tastiest milk, swadu, that we set aside for our husbands. And Yashoda is defending and saying, is it not possible for an untaught innocent child to steal from you, for you are very clever? So she is saying that it is not possible for an untaught and innocent child. My son is an innocent boy and he is not trained to steal like this. You people are very clever gopis. If you want to save something for your husbands, you keep it in the roof or something. You keep it in a hidden place. Don't keep it easily accessible to my son. So you are all grown up gopis, you are intelligent, why don't you do that? And then they are saying, Kalpita ste yogai. He invents ways to steal, even if he hide it also. The gopis are describing Krishna's expertise. Innocent! Your son is uncannily intelligent. He has invented innovative methods of stealing, unseen or unheard of. He is so skillful that he releases our calves even whilst we are directly watching, mystifying us with his smile. That means when Krishna smiles at us, we are mystified and bewildered, and then he releases the calves and makes us run here and there. And again, second time he mystifies us by making us run. In front of our eyes, he steals the butter and eats it, and before we can control him, another smile he gives and runs away. Like that they are saying. Yashoda said, this is the result of piety of your ancestors, that Krishna is enjoying at your homes what is not given by you misers. Why don't you accept this joyfully? See, Yashoda, amazing, huh? Yashoda is telling, you have done some piety that Krishna is coming to enjoy in your home. In South India, on the Gokulashtami day, in every home, they will take this rice flour and mix it with, some liquid, by which it will become like milk type of thing. So they would put with the finger like this, Krishna's footprints. Two footprints, beginning with the entrance, and then two footprints will go to the sanctum sanctorum. What is the meaning of that? Krishna is entering the house on that day, on his appearance day. And then he enters the house and goes to sanctum sanctorum, and he will stay with us forever. That's the understanding. So, he is telling that the very fact Krishna is entering your house, you should consider yourself very fortunate by your piety. Some ancestors must have done piety in your home, that Krishna is coming to your home. And in fact, without even asking you, he is taking butter and enjoying. You are miserly ladies. You are not giving him. Why don't you joyfully share with him? And then they are saying, Markan Bokshan Vibhajati. This is the Gopi is saying. We are happy that if he eats our butter, even with his friends, but before he eats it, he divides it, Vibhajati, and gives it to the monkeys to eat, Markan Bokshan. But the monkeys had overeaten already, and their bellies are already full. So what they do? They just spit it here and there. So neither does he eat, nor does he give it to his friends, but he feeds it to the monkeys who are already overeaten, and they spit it here and there. In this way he wastes it, like that they are saying. And then, Sa chen nati bandam bhinnati. Gopis are continuing. So they don't eat it. Even if one monkey does not eat the butter, Sa chen na ati, Krishna also does not eat it. He would say, without you, what is the use of my eating? I will also not eat. Then in distress, he simply breaks the pots, bandam bhinnati. And sometimes, since he has eaten already, he does not eat the stolen food, but still breaks the pots and blames others. Now Yashoda said, see what they are saying here, he doesn't eat it, nor does he give to friends, he gives to monkeys. Monkeys are overeaten, so they say our stomach is full. They don't eat it. And he tells the monkeys, actually you are my friends, if you don't eat, how can I eat? I will also not eat. And then he doesn't leave the home, but he breaks the pots. Yashoda is saying, if you know all this, why don't you hide the pots? By not doing so, you are making my playful child agitated. See how she is defending Krishna. And then, Dravyalabe Sagriha Kupito, they are saying. Gopis are saying, we tried hiding our pots, but if Krishna can't find the eatables, Dravyalabe, he becomes angry at the residents of the house. He becomes furious when the gopis do not follow his order to give butter to the monkeys that have come to the door. He would say, stay there, and I will come tomorrow morning with a flaming coal in my hand. If you don't give me yogurt, I will burn your house along with the elders and children. Like that he tells the gopis. So Dravyalabe Sagriha Kupita, he becomes angry. And he pinches the babies. Yat Yupakrosyak Tokan. Gopis continued. Then he would pinch and irritate the babies or scratch them with the nails and run away. In this way, there was no end to the complaints of the gopis about Krishna. Sometimes as the gopis spoke, Krishna would be present there, but displayed very gentle behavior, as if he were so innocent and the gopis' complaints were all lies. Sometimes Mother Yashoda defended Krishna in front of the gopis, but sometimes she also chastised Krishna to discipline him and teach him good conduct. That was her absorption in her eternal mood as the mother of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, acting as supreme thief. By stealing butter, however, Krishna actually stealing butter like hearts of the gopis. He was not hungry for milk, but hungry for milk of their motherly love. It was actually the greatest pleasure of the gopis to see Krishna stealing from their homes. In fact, they prepared all kinds of milk products in anticipation that Krishna would come and steal them. Although gopis relished the stealing activities of Krishna, they rebuked him externally. These simple gopis were very much appreciative of Yashoda's fortune in being Krishna's mother. But they thought she must be bereft of the pleasure of witnessing Krishna's stealing pastimes. for he wouldn't steal butter in her house. To give the same pleasure to Yashoda, the gopis went to her house to narrate the Krishna's pastimes of stealing in the garb of complaining against him. You understand, no? So why they were complaining? To give Yashoda the pleasure of Krishna's pastimes. Because she may not get to witness it. Krishna's pastimes are most enchanting. But when his pure devotees like gopis or Shukadeva Goswami in the Bhagavatam narrate them, they taste even more nectarian, being mixed with the love of these devotees. Thus Mother Yashoda experienced a great pleasure upon hearing about Krishna's stealing pastimes from the gopis than the gopis did by witnessing them first hand. The gopis apparently angry complaints, apparent angry complaints were nothing but expressions of their loving affection for Krishna, supreme butter thief Makhan Chor, who steals everyone's pure heart. So this is based on the commentaries of Srila Prabhupada, Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami also. 10th canto. These are also very traditional pictures, no? Very rare. Huh? Yashoda sitting with Krishna. Yeah. This is the most amazing, no? Very beautiful. The gopis are coming in a group to complain to Yashoda. Yeah. And what is very sweet is Yashoda's defending, huh? Yashoda. Actually, because in Vrindavan there is no scarcity, no? Therefore she is defending like that. She is saying, what will happen if he eats a little bit? Why don't you be liberal? So, Vrindavan is an abode which is just like any other village, an ordinary village. And the people like the gopis are, milking the cows and feeding the calves and, boiling the milk in the kitchen, doing the household, tending to needs of children and husband, and the men working in the field like Vaishyas, and people doing normal work like any other village. But the most amazing thing Brahmaji says in Srimad Bhagavatam about the Vrindavan. Please repeat this verse. Tavat ragadayastenas tavat karagriham griham tavan mohongri nigado yavat krishnana tejanaha. Read it.
My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves.
This is the first one. Tavat raga adayah stena. Sten means thief. Raga adaya means their attachments. And adaya means actually there is desire, material desires, which eventually grow and they become attachments, deep-rooted attachments. Initially they are small desires, then the desires increase, then one gets greed, then gradually one becomes kind of very strongly attached. Therefore he is saying raga adeha stenaha. They all become thieves. Yeah.
Their home remains, homes
kara
remain
griham,
prisons.
griham. Griham becomes kara griham. Just like you find sometimes in a city, people have huge houses with tall walls. Kutton se savdhan, no? Beware of dogs they put up. So no sadhu can enter inside and give any sermon to them. Nobody can teach them anything. They have a very huge wall. In this way, that house only becomes a prison for them. Hey, this is very noisy, man. In this way, it becomes a prison. House only becomes a prison for them. Yeah. Karagraham graham. And tavat mohum grinigada. What is that one? Read that.
And their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles.
Like in the jungle, if they want to catch a lion, they put some kind of buckle kind of thing on the grounds in the grasses. You can't see them. When the lions come there, they put their feet in that, immediately their foot shackles catch them. And they can't escape from that place. Similarly, their affectionate feelings for the family members, which is material attachment, that become foot shackle. Foot shackle means what? They want to quit that house and go to Vanaprastha or sannyas, they cannot. Once you get into that groove, you are caught. You are just not able to move out of that place. There are so many social obligations, so many self-created duties, so many important items to be taken care. In this way, their feelings for their family members returns them. His Grace Godakesh Prabhu used to say that even if you are a Krishna devotee, he said that to completely take off from the samsara means wife, to take away from the wife and fully get into Krishna consciousness is not very easy. People may take off from the wife, go a little bit here and there, again go back to home. That home pulls like a magnet. So that once that affectionate feelings develop in the material platform, it's very difficult to withdraw it. Read the purport.
Apparently, the residents of Vrindavan, the abode of Lord Krishna, are simple householders engaged in ordinary affairs such as herding cows, cooking, rearing children, and performing religious ceremonies. However, all these activities are intensely engaged in the loving service of Lord Krishna. The residents of Vrindavan perform all activities in pure Krishna consciousness and thus exist on the most exalted platform of liberated life.
Yeah, see, we all need some juice in life for us to have some enthusiasm to live also. Like you get up early in the morning. What motivation you have to spend your day? What juice are you experiencing which will give you some adventure, some thrill, some joy, some feeling of satisfaction, correct, no? So for the Brajavasis, as soon as they would get up in the morning, the first thought that would enter their mind is about Krishna. So they would think how to please Krishna, what is Krishna doing now? Where is Krishna now? What is he eating? What is he doing? So this would be the top thought on the surface of their mind, top surface of their mind. Like the cowherd boys, when they would return back in the evening, they would tell the day's activities to the parents. Today what demon came and how Krishna killed and what activities we did in the forest. The mothers would very joyfully hear. So one place, Shukadeva Goswami said, the mothers loved Krishna more than their own children. So immediately Parikshit put a break and asked a question. In this world we have seen, even if a boy is dull or not so smart looking, not so fair, not so intelligent, still any mother loves her son more than the neighbor's child. Even though the neighbor's child may be a very smart child, first ranking child and all that. For everybody, their own child is more dear. So he asked the question, how is it that, Yashoda's son was so dear to everybody, all the ladies in Vrindavan, like more than their own child? Then Shukadeva Goswami explained, Krishna is Atmatmana. He is the Atma of Atma. He is actually very, very dear to the souls. And then he said, Shukadeva Goswami, generally in this world, parents develop attachment to the son or daughter based on Dehatma Buddhi. First we are attached to our own body, and because the child has come from that body, there's attachment to the child's body. Whereas in Krishna's case, you don't consider your material body also. You only consider your soul, and the soul's attachment is to Krishna. So the soul considers Krishna to be the dearest Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, correct, no? So therefore their attachment to Krishna was more than their own child also. And keeping that in mind, Krishna became their son during the Brahma Vimohan Leela for giving them that satisfaction. So here that's what it is said. They were all intensely engaged in the loving service of Lord Krishna. So today morning in the Srimad Bhagavatam class, we were hearing from Prabhupada that Manmana means you think of the lotus feet of Krishna, and then you remember his personality. And then Prabhupada said, then you will be completely happy and satisfied. So what is the meaning of thinking of the lotus feet? What we did just now is called thinking of lotus feet. Thinking of the lotus feet means one should think about his Krishna's life, his devotees' life, his activities, and how the devotees are delighting in his activities. This is actually the meaning of thinking of the Lord's lotus feet. And this absorption, if it happens with great transcendental faith, and actually to the degree our hearts are purified, to that degree our hearts resonate with these pastimes. And therefore it is said, Tatparatvena Nirmalam. Sarva Upadi Vinirmukta. So, unfortunately, we have many material upadis in this world, material anxieties. So, to the degree we identify with them, these pastimes evaporate from our minds. Just like if you have a hot tawa, you put water and immediately it evaporates. Similarly, our minds are heated up with so many material identifications. You know, I am a male and she is a female, and lust and anger and greed, and you know, I have this post and I have to achieve this, my name, my fame. So we are so much pinned down on a material plane due to our head heated up with all this mundane thought process. So when the transcendental pastimes are heard in the ears, they don't sink in our heart due to that. But to the degree one's heart is purified, then therefore he says, Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktaruchita. He says that. So, but although we are very fallen and we are struggling in our life, still our acharyas have given these commentaries and everything in a way that we can at least get a little taste of it. But the Vrindavan Vasis, their situation was, externally if you see Vrindavan, it looks like any other village. They are Gramin Sris, village women, rustic women, doing normal activities. But what makes them the topmost devotees in the entire creation? So much so that Brahma wants to put his forehead in Dangad, Vangad, Vilasgad and take their dust on his head. Shiva wants to be in the Nandishwar hill and wants Vijavasis to walk over his head. Shiva wants the dust of Vijavasis on his head, and Brahma wants dust. Our Uddhava, the most learned scholar, disciple of Brihaspati, he wants the dust of the gopis on his head. So what makes these people so special is this, that they are intensely engaged in the loving service of Krishna, their activities. So the goal of their activities is what makes the Vrajavasis special. Read further. We are also doing activities, they are also doing activities, but the point is their activities are all done for the loving service of Krishna. Go ahead.
Thus,
The residents.
the residents of Vrindavan performs all activities in pure Krishna consciousness, and thus exist on the most exalted platform of liberated life. Otherwise, the same activities performed without Krishna consciousness constitutes ordinary bondage to the material world.
Yeah. You see, like I remember going to South, and so different home to home we were going for Bhagavatam installation program. So me and a team of 4-5 devotees would go home to home. So when we went, we saw in many of the homes there were ladies, you know, sometimes 25-30 ladies would come. They would come with their small little daughter or little son in their lap. So they would have cooked in the morning and they sent their husbands to office. Now they all have come for the program, arrived at the program. And then they will again go back home. They will wash the clothes, wash the pots, correct, no? And then receive the husband, serve the in-laws. So you will find a typical household means, you know, the whole day goes in the household chores of cleaning the clothes, cooking the food, cleaning the house, and earning the money. Kutumba Bharan we call it, Kutumba Bharan. A lot of energy time goes, and it is typical in every house. You go to any house anywhere. These are things, sitting, sleeping, mating, defending, normal activities. So everybody is doing. The beauty of the Bhakti Yoga path is, Bhakti Yoga path does not strip the people away from their normal course of life. Along with the normal course of life, in the path of Bhakti Yoga, Lord has arranged it in such a way that one should learn the art of attaching Krishna to that. By attaching Krishna to that, even ordinary chores of life can be sanctified. So Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, the path of Bhakti Yoga is so beautiful that even a child doesn't have to give up the childhood proclivities. Child has a tendency to play. Okay, he can play with Krishna doll. When it's a small kid, you tell the child, you decorate this Krishna, or you do gardening and offer flowers to Krishna. You can do this. Or you cut sabji, or you roll some chapati for Krishna. So small children also sometimes, like Uddhava as a small kid, Parikshit as a small kid, Abhay as a small kid. So their childhood proclivity was not stopped. But that childhood proclivity can be dovetailed in Krishna service. Same way, ladies, for example, they identify more with family, with husband, with in-laws, and raising children, and this kind of, which we call as a samsari, we call it, samsaric activities. And for the ladies to identify with spiritual life, something which is far-fetched, by going to some remote place, holy dhams, doing meditation, doing swadhyay, doing tapas. These are all far-fetched idea. In the wildest of the dreams also they won't think about it. So the beauty of Bhakti Yoga is, even such mamhi partha vyapashitya apc papa yone striyo vaishyas tata shudras te pyanti param gatim. So I went to one house. They had a huge Balaji, very tall Balaji, with all bedecked with jewels and diamonds and everything. So the very rich man, he is helping our local devotees there. So he has a very huge hall. So he's the owner of the house. He's a retired man, wearing a big tilak and everything. So he was the only man, and all others were there, 30-40 ladies who have come for the program for the Bhagavatam installation. So at that time this thought came in my mind. So I was just telling very nice, beautiful Krishna Katha to them from Vrindavan Leelas. I was telling them, and people could very easily relate to it. People could very easily relate it. So therefore, the path of Bhakti Yoga becomes simple for the people who are very simple-hearted. And also, this path is so simple and sweet. If somebody adopts it, they go back to Godhead very smoothly without too much struggle. On the other hand, the jnanis and yogis break their heads, do so much kathor tapasya, they study so much scriptures and everything, but at the end they don't achieve the ultimate goal. Therefore, he is saying here, the residents of Vrindavan perform all activities which appear like normal course of activities, but in pure Krishna consciousness. And thus they are existing on a most exalted platform. Otherwise, all the activities will be counted as mundane. I read further.
Thus, one should not misunderstand the exalted position of the residents of Vrindavan, nor should one consider oneself highly religious simply because one performs ordinary domestic affairs very enthusiastically, but without Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, some people, like one boy was saying, Prabhuji, I actually go to laboratory and I work 8 hours at a stretch. I heard that work is worship, isn't it? So is that work also worship? He asked me. I said, but where is God involved there? He may slog like a donkey in a lab, working all day. But where is God's involvement in your work? You are working, you will publish paper, you will become popular, and you may make money. But how are you connecting it to God? So in the same manner, some people are very proud that, I had 2 daughters, 2 sons. I have got my 2 daughters married and my 2 sons are settled in jobs now. I sent them abroad, they studied and came back. Now they are settled. I am a very perfect householder. I have done my duties well. बच्चों को बड़ा करके settle कर दिया. And they think themselves very religious because they have very dharmically settled all the children, grown them up properly. So people are very proud of these kind of things also. You will see that. Although from a irresponsible point of view, a person who is responsible can be appreciated. He raised the children and settled them in life. It is good, but that's not the ultimate goal of life. So, because even the animals teach their kids how to catch their prey, how to make their nest or whatever. Even they teach it. So that's what he's saying. One should not be very proud of one's domestic affairs, doing it very enthusiastically. Yeah. Go ahead.
By focusing our passionate attachment on our family and society, we are completely deviated from the progressive path of Krishna consciousness.
We all have passion, but that passion should not be just directed for material improvement, which is what 99% of the population is doing. all over the world. They have their passionate attachments and they are working hard for material improvement of themselves and their family members and their business, and whole life goes in that. Therefore, that verse says, Kamasya na indriya pritir labho jivete yavata jivasya tattva jignasa, it says. Yeah, go ahead.
Conversely, if we engage our family in the loving service of the Lord, our endeavors to maintain our family become part and parcel of our progressive spiritual duties.
Yeah. So, instead of we engaging our passionate attachments to family, society improvement, material improvement, and degrading ourselves and degrading them, he is saying that connect your family in loving service of the Lord. And make all your endeavors to maintain your family. Make all endeavors to maintain your family and become a part and parcel of spiritual duties. Like in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visiting the home of Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu was telling that any grihastha who very lovingly cooks bhoga for the Lord and offers, is most glorious, is worshipable, Mahaprabhu says. So you will find that many people, just like brahmachari, sometimes are a little lazy to go for harinam outdoor or book distribution outdoor. And you give them some service, they will say that I have this excuse or that excuse. Similarly, grihasthas also, when they arrange a program, they find it more easy to arrange a caterer to supply the prasad. It becomes very easy. Just make one phone call and he brings for 20 people or 30 people. It becomes very easy. But there, Mahaprabhu appreciates, especially Sita Thakurani, who very painstakingly cooked. So if a lady in the home cooks bhoga for Krishna, offers it to Lord very lovingly with great affection, and then serves to all the Vaishnavas, such a home is more than a temple. Correct, no? So that's what he's saying, that we have to dovetail the family in Lord's service rather than we ourselves put all our energies in material improvement of the family. That's the whole thing. So in this whole purport, he is telling the difference between a family which is connected to Krishna, which is disconnected. In conclusion.
In conclusion, by studying the extraordinary status of the residents of Vrindavan, we can see that the essential quality of their lives is pure Krishna consciousness, the rendering of loving service to the Lord, without a trace of material desire or mental speculation. Such loving service to the original personality of Godhead immediately creates the atmosphere of Sri Vrindavan Dham.
Yeah, I will show you one family in Pakistan. I have some of their photos one devotee gave me. You'll be amazed how they are practicing. I showed many. Once I showed, but you can see how they have decorated. So you see their altar. See how Radharani is decorated. In house, how much time they may be devoting to make all this. Just think about it. House deities, yeah. They made peacocks. See, the Radharani is holding this one. What do you call this? Kurumara laddu. Yeah, til laddu. Kurumara laddu. Kurumara laddu. Now she is having a whole plate of it, like a mountain, plus one in the hand also. You saw that? She is giving, yeah. And they are facing each other. She is giving. No, let it go. Yeah, that was sitting one. See your offerings. This is in a house, people can do so much. See, ultimately why I am showing you this, if people put their heart, there is no end to devotion service. Correct, no? See how they decorated. So it's a Veni, this thing, Jata, you see. See, this is a family. So they are worshipping, doing Abhishek. How sweet, huh? Yeah, this is a family. They are doing Abhishek, Jagannath, Subhadra also. This is another dress. See here how much decoration. The face. See here. And the face also. Small here also, the face also they have decorated. See here, Radharani. Mirror. Yeah. This is sitting posture, both. You saw? Sitting. Yeah. Yeah, correct. This is Krishna making this thing, braiding the hair. Correct. She is seeing Krishna. That's another one. This is Bangladesh. Sorry, but I showed you this. But amazing, no? Correct. So, like I have seen in Jaydev Prabhu and Satyat Mataji's home, and they have this Radha Ladli Lal, and I used to go Tuesdays. I used to go, no. So that is one example I am telling you, family of how much sincerely Radha Ladli Lal is worshipped. Making several bhoga offerings a day, aratis a day, putting festivals for them, and Mataji can sometimes every Tuesday she would get practically a dozen ladies to come and help in cooking. They'll be cooking from practically 1 o'clock, and 140, 150 people would come in the evening. Many items they would make. Correct, no? So actually, whether you are a brahmachari or a householder, how you engage your time, how you engage your consciousness, how you engage your commodities, how you engage your skills and talents, how much you are directing all your resources and skills and abilities in pleasing the Lord, correct, no? That's what ultimately counts in the path of Bhakti Yoga. So the Vijayavasis look like ordinary village people, externally seeing, but their hearts, one moment cannot be separated from Krishna, correct, no? So they are lovers of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna wants to go to their home and steal butter and be a part of the pastimes. Actually, Lord is looking for people like that. Wherever there is love, Lord will run there. Because He is a Prem Pujari, correct, no? So wherever somebody is lovingly offering devotional service, Lord will immediately rush to that place. So Vrindavan is the place where He is getting abundant love. From everybody. He is mad after Him. In love, that too in different rasas. In Vatsalya, in Dasya, Sakya, and Madhurya, and different rasas. So therefore, Lord's abode is Vrindavan. He has taken His residence there eternally. So we will take a break for Gayatri and then we will discuss something. So Prabhupada ki